People need to realize how impactful they are. And that impact have ripple effect even beyond the solar system, how you can affect other homeworlds that you have no idea of.
Our human vessel is one thing, but like you said, the encoding within is so smart. It's just incredible. The body will tell you what it needs, what it doesn't need.
I am the Arcturian being. We are known as one of the most advanced and spiritually enlightened intergalactic civilizations. I'm very happy to represent them in this lifetime.
Your story empower your life. Join me as I speak to many people around the globe and understand how the empowerment of their story led to the transformation of their life. My name is Rochelle Harlington, and this is the Transformational Soul Talks. This podcast is sponsored by Campground TBD.
Hi, I'm Misty Lee at Campground TBD and my favorite nonprofit, Hayden's Ray. Sometimes we need to fast from society, fast from our relationships, fast from our distractions, fast from the things that are clouding our mind from clarity that may be causing frustration or doubt. Fasting is a beautiful way to do that, and you don't have to give up food unless you want to. At Campground TBD, we offer a safe space in nature for you to come and fast from what you want to, be filled with organic nourishment, body, mind, and soul. Can't wait to see you here at campgroundtbd.com.
Hi, I'm Rochelle, and this is the Transformational Soul Talks. Change your story, change your life. Do you feel science and spirituality are one and the same? Well, if so, then stay with us as we dive deep into the understanding of energy, hybrids, and our Mother Earth. I want to welcome my wonderful guest today who has come back on the show for a second time, my beautiful friend, Vivian Chauvet. I want to welcome you, and I hope I said that name right.
It was perfect, actually, Rachel.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me back here on the Transformational Soul Talk. Such a joy to connect with you, all of you also listening and will be listening. So I love the energy behind it. Yes, we can take deep dive, and it's
Yes.
yes, beautiful energies.
I love that. And I know that we spoke, oh my gosh, a couple of years ago, and I had you on and we were discussing so many different things that were happening in the world at that time. And a lot with the ascension and how things would shift. And boy, have they shifted in the last few years. Like it's a whole different dynamic, but it's lovely to see. And I was actually speaking to someone the other day and I said, you know, it is about time that people dive deep into their own self-healing and also being grateful for where they are currently in their life and giving back. And even if it just means a little bit to others, because we are all collectively one. And so when you're kind to yourself and kind to others, it gives back in so many beautiful ways. But I am excited to know what you have been doing because you mentioned just before we hopped on here that a lot has changed. So do share.
Yes, and I'm excited to share because when I share about what we do and what we offer, it's really serving as an inspiration. It's a transformational inspiration that allows everyone to give ourselves permission to shift, to change your mind, change your emotion, change the way you communicate, the way you feel about yourself, others. So I've been really expanding. So as an Arcturian ambassador, I am truly on the planet to be a sacred, direct, conscious bridge between
Mm.
humanity, between the evolving energy of humanity and the planet, as much as I'm a bridge also for a multitude of sentient light group like the Syrians, the Andromedans. I work with, beautiful energy from the Venusian. I can be also working with those from Alpha Centauri. As an Arcturian, we understand the diplomatic aspect of the connections. But what is most important is watching through the timeline how much there's been a profound level of rising on the planet. People are in a different space, asking different questions, going deeper, and even some semantics have changed. For example, healing. I like that you brought that up. Being able to do self-healing. Well, the word healing, it became an umbrella, a really big, beautiful gateway of opportunities, able to recognize ourselves as, do I see myself as whole, complete? Do I let my body know? Do I let my every cell of my body vibrate in that vibrancy of wholeness, completion, health, balance? Are you feeding, nourishing yourself that way? Or most people are still using what I call a negative contraction to talk about something they would like to release themselves from or heal themselves from. So there's one thing I've been observing a lot since we last explored the changes on the planet is how much that is shifting the comprehension behind it, the interaction within our body, our mind, our mind and heart interface needs to be in realignment. And so, therefore, my delegations, the Arcturian Light Council, have asked me to step now into the role of the cosmic teacher. So, my role is really recreating or retransmitting through algorithm of light and frequencies through ancient teaching to allowing the transformation to take place at a more deeper quantum level, as opposed to maintain the old feel of the healer. So our roles are shifting. And I know that many of you watching right now, you are healers, channelers, teachers, light workers, light-minded people, feeling the call of being of service at a whole different level. Well, I have received that calling too. So for many, many, many years, I played the role of the galactic healer, and now I'm stepping into the cosmic teacher. And in fact, I'm the founder of the Arcturian University, which is the one and only on the planet, literally. I'm the only one founding this wonderful sanctuary. It's an online sanctuary for multidimensional ancient wisdom teachings, activations, elevation for self-mastery. What does it mean to step into our path of enlightenment? What does it mean to embody the next conscious human being? And I would say something that really touches my heart is watching humanity or human beings returning to be more organic, conscious, sentient beings, as opposed to step down robotic version of what human beings are. And that is a huge change that I'm seeing and witnessing, even through, our members, our conferences, speaking with other people like beautiful hosts like yourself, Rachel, and others. We are rekindling the sacred art of what being in conscious, cosmic human being is becoming more and more. And I feel like that transformation is very supportive of everything, whether it's understanding ascension symptoms, how the physicality shifting our needs, sleep patterns, diets, how we can meditate more at a deeper level, opening truly all of our psychic, intuitive centers, how we relate to each other, and how we feel much more connected. And that connection, that organic connection, is also expanding the linguistic field, the vibrational field of the planet. And in time, it's thought to magnify and attract more that true natural genuine reconnections with our star nations, our cosmic galactic roots, right? It really allowed that feel there's a deeper invitation that I've been seeing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I think even just on a simple 3D, level, and I had this conversation earlier today with someone saying, realizing that, having the simple things in life, clean water, good food, grounding, and not worrying about all of the other stresses that go along with life, and not always trying to compete with everything, and just being in that place of simplicity where you're enjoying the now moment and in being present with your food or your family, or those things are so important because they ground you and they give you that feeling of being in abundance. Just it's such a simple, very 3D dimensional level. And when I had this conversation with someone today about it, and I said, a lot of times people feel that North America is so much more, but really in their own countries, the simplicity of just getting up in the morning and being with nature, being with Gaia, being alive, and eating the food that is fresh, that is there for you, is abundance in its own. You have pure success, right? And I thought to myself, how funny that those simple things that those people have, they have such a simple life, which is more of what I'm looking for in many people I talk to, rather than so much stress and confusion. And I think that that's starting to shift with people. They don't want all that anymore because it does make you very sick. So I think people are beginning to come into that understanding of being in contact with each other and Mother Earth and everything that is around us. So yeah, I think that's shifting.
There's definitely a profound shifting, and I would say there will be a transcendence even beyond the 3D reality. So first is also feeding what quality of thoughts are you feeding your mind? Because you can eat the cleanest food you can get and the more biological, organic food there is, but if your mind is constantly fed with the same thought pattern or the mindset behind it, but you're creating a paradox, a duality within yourself. So for us, it feels like it really stepping into a higher way of living. We call it returning to the essentials of living. And that living is, yes, to be in synchronicity and harmony with your environment. And therefore, right here, we're on this planet Earth, Gaia consciousness, the elementals, the spirit of nature, the three nations, be in sync with the animal kingdom and other life forms that coexist with you. There's a lot of solace, there's a lot of healing and healing the gap between human beings and other life. The more you're healing that gap, the more you start to feel that you're truly part of all there is. And what does it mean to be part of all there is? You can experience it at that level by really healing the gap between yourself. So the feeling of the mind, that's going to be a huge reversal of thought system that is ongoing right now. So whether it's what is it that you accept as a reality and hold on and magnify by emotion, whether it's overly projection of a potential future or being so ingrained in the past, and the past can be this lifetime or at the same time the influence of multi-lifetimes, and allowing yourself to feeling, we talk about the now is allowing you to really see where am I now. And the now encompasses everything, a future potential, all aspects of your past, the multidimensionality of who you are. You have accessibility to everything in that moment. And that moment is allowing you to have discernment. Grounding yourself is allowing yourself to be more in an integration state. So even the word grounding is shifting in meaning because the needs are shifting, the core values are shifting, the way we identify. And I would say very importantly, we are releasing ourselves from attachments, being so entangled with a multitude of attachments. And this is why I like to introduce the mind as a factor, because it leads the way to go deeper and reconnect with the true wisdom of your being. There's so much more that is encoded just within the human template. Your own memory field, whether you're connecting to I did a master class recently around the diamond heart, or known as the sacred crystal heart. And it's the very center of your being. And within the crystal heart, you have your divine trinity, or also known as the threefold flame. But we took it to the next level completely, which leads the way to really recognizing yourself as an empowered, sovereign, divine being in this unified field known as your human experience. So this is part as an intergalactic ambassador and cosmic teacher that I interweave these profound and yet very well-known ancient concepts, but how we can rediscover them and interweave them in our day-to-day practice, contemplation, communication, integration, and even co-manifestation. So we are collectively shifting the very fabric of this reality. And so the implication is very deep, and yet to bring this universal joy of reconnecting, finally reconnecting with a much more vast, sentient, intelligent, and very abundant universe, as opposed to rely on the small safety of the 3D logic mind. This is why it's part of the huge disconnect, right? And I can
Yeah.
feel the energy behind it.
I absolutely agree with you on this. And it's even what I say for my podcast, the empowerment of your story leads to the trajectory of your life. So if you're constantly in that disempowering thought, then that is what will show up for you, because everything you think about begins as energy. It seeks expression, becomes matter, and shows up. And then we turn around and say, well, I didn't ask for that, but you did, because your thoughts become things, as many people say, but we create it. But you can just as quickly move through it and change that. It's knowing that, and I've said this to many people, that you are so sovereign and so divine that you can shift that reality just by being very clear on the vibration that you're putting out there and the vibration of other people that you want around you. So it is becoming a little bit more common when we talk now about the vibration, what is seeking expression, and how you're showing up, because I think people don't realize how friggin' special they are and how much they can create, right, Vivian?
Right.
And I think this is what the body, I mean, our human vessel is one thing, but like you said, the encoding within is so smart. It's just incredible. If you think about, the body will tell you what it needs, what it doesn't need. And I always say to people, go within to get the answers, because everything you want is within you. It's within the heart. It's there. Stop looking outside of yourself for that validation, because it's all within. And once you guide yourself with that, I say, then amazing things can happen. So the work that you're doing sounds incredible, and supporting so many human people who are trying to, move through, because, Earth is a tough school. It's it's very heavy and dense. I do have a question though for you.
Of course.
Is what would you have done? What was sort of your thoughts around this before you began this journey? Like what is sort of the one thing for you that you wish you had known before you began this journey?
I already had everything I knew.
Okay.
I had everything I need. And that's the thing about, for all of us, I am no exception. So remember that at a soul level, and when you have access to the potential of the timeline you're about to create or co-manifest, you do have the presence of very advanced and beautiful celestial beings. I have seen them. I have interacted with them, and they exist really much in synchronization with the entire creation. And those beings help souls being redirected without you come back being an earth human. Become, and if you choose physical incarnation, you can choose physical incarnation of any planets or star systems or different galaxies, and those beings will guide you appropriately. But for the sake of this question here, as I was getting ready, and like many souls in that matter, we were getting ready to come back here. The thing is that in my particular soul ancestry or my soul Akashic records, I have very limited experience in physical incarnation on this planet. So there's a lot of things that for me, I have no feel of reference for, or I have no emotional attachments to, or to me, it feel like, yes, it's nice, I see it, and I have no historical background to back it up. Now, that's not the point, that I can feel more a connection. What I feel very connected is the compassion of energy that I feel for the planet and all sentient life form here.
Mm.
One thing I feel like in many souls who experience very similar things, whether it's from my own experience and other old souls who come from other either plane of existence of different dimensional frequencies or realities that is so different, it's the emotional component.
Mm.
It's the mastery of the emotions here. Emotions are really a great gift, a great source of power,
Mhm.
and is also a great source of connection that connect human beings through a living light and a living light to create to the prime creator. This
Mhm.
is why there's many beings or time traveler or interdimensional beings who come to watch, to want to learn. They want to understand where that light emanates from. That's because it is innate to being an earth human. You have this beautiful living light, and through the capacity of love, compassion, and empathic intelligence, you have a natural ability to connect even more to your source point or source infinite. And yet it is the more concealed. That's the paradox here that I found fascinating. But the emotional component can also serve to keep people down in grief, sadness,
Mhm.
feeling separation, dealing with suffering. Suffering, it's a very challenging paradigm to deal with because I come from a place where none of it exists. We have transcended that for thousands of years ago. We have reached a constant state of ascended self. We are in constant harmonic self and cultivation self with each other in every component in the multiverse. So you come here in this retracted, very stepped down, fragmented and dualistic energy, and you have the strong emotions coming in. It can be bombarded at all levels, whether it's your own emotions or induced emotions from movies, manipulation of beings, dark beings, astral, structural, it can be upbringing, generational, genetic. I mean, there's so many sources. So where and how do you step in the mastery of understanding what your emotional faculties are really about? And that in the energy of suffering. And I really feel that I constantly communicate with my council and the alliances group. Can we help to accelerate the change of that paradigm? Like the
Mm.
return of the resources, for example, or the return of equality, or the return of, releasing barriers, setting yourself free from, you know, racial differences or
Mhm.
cultural differences. Human beings need to understand that you are truly at your best and at your highest point when you reunify again. So let down of these boundaries of, geography or upbringing, and then
Yep.
in my group it's this way, and in your group it's that way.
Yes.
Those are just soul experiences. And when
Mhm.
you understand that this is part of what my soul have come to experiences, and yet I can still be within the unified field of humanity, that changed completely the direction of this world. So I feel that for many very ancient souls who come from different star system or different spectrum of reality, no matter how much we are advanced, well equipped, we have knowledge, we have capacity. When you enter the field here on this planet, as it has been so
Mhm.
far, you can be prepared as you can be. And I know that there will be many star seeds who can relate to what I'm saying right now. But that emotional component, that in how children's are overall, regardless of the culture, regardless of where you are on the planet, there seems to be a commonality point of already divide children from each other.
Mm.
Instead of teaching children when you go in school, your classroom become a unified field. And or with your, when you are playing a sport or when you're doing something, or you are in a musical recital, come as a group, connect, support each other, teach empathic intelligence, how to really respond, honoring each other's different perspective, uniqueness
Mhm.
within the common good of the unified field. There's one thing that feels so illogical and very scratching my head with, like, why is children who come pure as a conduit are thought that you have to compete against each other, or
Yeah.
there's difference, you have to bully each other. They're mimicking back what they experiencing, whether it's at home, whether it's their village, the city they grew up in, whether
Mhm.
it's the influence around them, and it's been recreated, mimic back in their field without understanding the ripple effect of what they're co-creating.
Wow.
So that contribute to distortion. So there's a great many things like this. The structural aspect of this 3D reality is so illogical in many, many ways. So you can be prepared as you can be, but when your boots on the ground, that's a different story,
It's a totally different story.
right?
I love that explanation. It was very detailed and yeah, it explains so much. So for our listeners that are listening and or watching this, I mean, there's the explanation for you and understanding. Now, I do want to just kind of swing back there. I know you've spoken a lot about the Arcturians, but for anybody who's listening or watching and says, well, who are they? What are they? Maybe we can touch lightly on that as to, that.
Of course, that's a great point, and thank you for mentioning this. So I take it for granted because I am an Octarian being in a human hybrid form, and I always said the hybrid part of me is my body, my conduit. I am the Octarian being, and this is why I came back here to play the role as an ambassador, and I accepted this role. So in a nutshell, Octarians, we are known as one of the most advanced and spiritually enlightened intergalactic civilizations. There's many star nations, as we may know, and many more that you have yet to discover.
Mhm.
So we are within the Butes constellation. This is where our realm is, because we exist in a much, much higher dimensional space, as opposed if you look at the telescope and you see Arcturus star, they would say, well, you're looking at an image of a past. Our realm is we're vibrating between the 7th dimension to the 13th dimension. We're very high frequency being. We're beautiful, being tall, lanky, we're masters of light, masters healer, master diplomats. We are well known for our ambassadorial roles. We assist so many homeworlds and star system in many sentient life civilizations or group consciousness to evolve, to help them to return to the next level, like right now we're helping to re-achieve that reascending form. We're returning to reclaiming our sovereignty. So Octarians, we speak the language of pure love light frequencies. We are really beautiful masters of light, beautiful beings. And we are very powerful in our own way. And the other intergalactic groups who are also coexisting with the planet, they are very well aware of who we are and our presence. So I'm very happy to represent them in this lifetime.
That is beautiful. I'm very intrigued. I know a lot of the light of the beings and the different planetary, galactic beings, but I'm always curious about the Arcturians. Now, Earth's ascension. This is a question that I personally wanted to ask because, I hear a lot about this, about the ascension of Earth, the ascension of this and that. But what is the timeline, and what is in a sort of a nutshell, what is the ascension of Earth? Because Earth is a living being.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. And thank you again for mentioning that, because the Earth, this planet, is a living being like many other planets are. They're known as celestial beings. So if you look at the principle, if you accept the principle that you're a multidimensional being, that means that you have had many, many, many lifetimes, whether it's on this planet, whether you live on other planet or other systems. So as a multidimensional beings, you may recognize that there's a multidimensional aspect of timelines. It's not just one timeline or two or three. There's a multitude of timelines. But in Octarians, we're expert on monitoring timelines. We know exactly how they work, how to shift. Ascension for us is more reascension. You're finally Earth Gaia, or the, Pachamama, she's known. The Earth, this planet, is ready to return into her original celestial self, as Gaia or the Earth was designed originally. So instead of sustaining a step down frequency version of herself, she's returning, reascending again in that field. So right now we are in the middle timeline. Middle timeline is there's a lot of spiritual opening. People start to questions. There's a lot of change in the format. There's a change in technology. And it's for those who are pushing more AI, technology advancement, and all of it. That's the middle timeline. And there are many, many people who may want to go through the middle timeline because it's part of their soul evolution. That timeline doesn't go as far as it looks like, but there will be souls who need to learn from it. Now, the other timeline, the third one, it's called a higher organic timeline. That one is a deep journey of conscious changes when you're embracing yourself as a divine being having this human journey, when you start to living consciously to honor other life, honor each other, you're becoming a beacon of positive energy, you become an emissary of light. You are here to uplift the earth and everyone who is ready. That includes animals, that includes the trees, species of bees and insect, all life, the life form that is ready to return that point of celestial divine blueprint, and not the step down frequencies where you identify so heavily to your 3D mind, personality trait, what you have ingrained, some pattern that you may have learned from your father, mother, grandmother's upbringing, and then you forge a personality and you think that life, that's all there is. You start to get a breakthrough. There's an opening. So it's nothing to do with a magic wand where suddenly we wake up and then the earth looks purple and violet and everything floats with space. Nothing to do with that. It's more of a transition. It's a individual soul consciousness decision, as well as it is also a collective and planetary decision. So change your mindset, monitor your thought where you are. You make a lot of difference. People need to realize how impactful they are. And that impact can have ripple effect even beyond the solar system, how you can affect other homeworlds that you have no idea of. So it's a profound metamorphosis changes that is uplifting. So technology is never the answer. It has to be spiritually and consciously assisted to understand what is it you're co-creating, co-manifesting, and how far it can go. And that's why the empathic intelligence or empathy for other life, it's very important to have that compassionate component. And we see that a little bit too much with those who are very engaged with AI. They want to create robots that are going to clean your house and do all of this. And we go, you are stuck in the third dimensional timeline, the middle timeline, because the organic human component is no longer there. And we've seen that in a timeline in other planets. We've seen that in the galactic archives. It's nothing new. A lot of things has been repeated. You think that you're going through a new cycle. Oh, no. It's a very old cycle, as many of us know. This is why we, within the Octran University, we call it Choose Reascension. It is a conscious molecular decision that re-affect and redirect the direction of your own journey, your life journey, and your own timeline. And so you want to make empowering here.
Yes, absolutely. Wow, that is empowering. And I'm glad you touched on that, because I think especially for anybody who's listening, it really gives very clear lines as to exactly what you are manifesting and where you want to see things go. So if people wanted to connect with you, Vivian, where can they find you, and on what platforms?
Everything is on my website, one place, Infinite Healing from the Stars. We also have a section where you can click on the Octran University. I'm inviting everyone to take a look at our sanctuary. It's a very unique. There's nothing on the planet like this. Unique place. We have members from all over the world. We offer the journey we take together is we are very engaged and lovingly supporting of each other. And we are here to embrace, support, and manifest the higher organic timeline for the reascension. So everything is there. And of course, we have our team to support you, questions. There's a contact information already on the welcome page of the Octrine University. Everything is there, and it's embracing our beautiful universal consciousness community. And we are definitely pioneers of what we do, and it's all generations, which is the beauty of it.
I love that. Well, I will definitely put all that information in the show notes for anybody who wants to connect with you. You're also located, unless I moved from the last time we talked, you're located still in Canada, right?
Oh, no, I've been in
no.
Arizona for over 20 years.
Oh, okay. That's right. You are from Canada, but
Exactly.
you are now in Arizona. That's right. My mistake. So I will put all that in the show notes. They can connect with you there. I want to say thank you again so much for coming on my show, coming and sharing your beautiful, beautiful wisdom and supporting humanity in so many incredible ways, Vivian. You're beautiful.
Thank you so much, Rachel, to not only reaching out to us again for your openness, your heart energy, your loving presence, and the beautiful work that you do as well, helping so many people. We're in this together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.